So I went to Minneapolis for 4 days and I'm going to tell you about my trip. I'm Mequilla Sunrise and this is Vinyl Jeopardy. So this segment is not necessarily about records, although I did get some records while I was in Minneapolis. This is just about my Minneapolis trip and my tour at Paisley Park. So this has been a long time coming. I had always envisioned myself going to Paisley Park, but I thought that Prince would be there when I went. And so this trip kind of brought some finality for me to a process that I'm going through in my life. On Prince's last day, I received a whole lot of emails, texts from people offering their condolences, which I promptly rejected. What I said at the time is, I did not know Prince. He is not a member of my family. Thank you. And that was what I said, texting back. I didn't know him, was not part of my family. Thank you. In complete denial about the feelings that I was having, which seemed irrational to me. Going through grocery stores and seeing bunches of pictures on magazines, etc., was difficult. And eventually, after some months, actually, I had to face the fact that I was actually feeling some sort of way, some sort of grief, and I cannot explain why or how you can experience true grief for someone who you actually did not know. I can tell you that the first introduction that I remember of Prince was when I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I remember seeing him on Saturday Night Live's playing Party Up. And I remember loving the music and loving the man, and my mother knew this. And so when Prince was coming to San Francisco, she showed me the ad in the newspaper. And the first time that I saw Prince in concert was 1982. I was 11 and a half years old, and it was the Controversy Tour. So I have been a fan since about that time, part of the Purple family, a collector mostly of music and vinyl, but also everything else, magazines, books, videos, etc. So I had to take that into consideration, that I'm really old now. And to follow someone's music for 32, 33 years, something like that, I can't even count many days of my life when I haven't listened to the music. So if you have someone's voice, their ideas, their thoughts piping into your earphones for 30 something years, it's, even though I know rationally that the same 45 records I had on April 20th are the same ones that I had on April 21st, are the same ones that I have today. Nothing's changed. But something was going on with me that my husband recognized and my daughter recognized and said, you need to go to Paisley Park and shut all this down. So off to Minneapolis I went. I was not going to go in April, y'all, because I am from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am not fixing to go in the winter time. April may not be winter in the rest of the world, but in Minneapolis, I know that it is. So you can forget that. I went on April 7th, which was Prince's birthday, because I figured there would be some celebrations going on. And so that was just strategic on my end. And also because I ain't going in the winter. So my first day there, which was Thursday, June the 7th, I went to Bunker's Bar and Grill, and Chase and Ovation played, and they are a tribute band, and they were really good, and the energy was really high, and it was a great celebration. There were all kinds of people there with t-shirts on and jewelry, and a true tribute to Prince. It was fantastic, and I met a lot of people who were very much like me. Not quite. A lot of them were already in celebration mode, where I was a little bit in grieving mode. So, but for the most part, it was we were partying like it was 1999. And when Chase and Ovation played Purple Rain, then people started crying. I did not cry because I ain't no punk. No, I don't know why I didn't cry, but a lot of people were really having a really tough time, and I felt for them. But it did end on a high note, and it was just a great show. So thanks, Chase and Ovation. The next day was when I went to Paisley Park, and I got the full tour. The beginning of the tour does have his cremains behind a glass encasing, and pretty high up. And so there were some people who had some moments during that part, and thank God that was at the beginning so that we could get that over with. And I was on, I can't even remember what the name of the tour that I was on, but it was the one where you get to go into Studio B and also take a few pictures. And also we went into the editing room and saw some video. The best part of the tour, I would say, was the Love Sexy room, and I don't even know why. I guess I really liked the costumes that were in the Love Sexy room and the video that was showing. That was a highlight for me. I did not get very many souvenirs at the end. I wanted to get the controversy jacket. There was a controversy jacket there, and the only sizes they had was extra large and extra extra large. So I did not get it just because I would want to wear it. But what I did get, let me see, I got a water bottle. What else do I need here in Las Vegas and to carry with me wherever I go? It has Paisley on one side, and then of course it has the love symbol on the other side. So I'm going to be carrying that in the car with me wherever I go. And then I got this book. It is Paisley Park Archives, and it is Prince Fashion. On the inside, it has various and sundry pictures. Uh-oh. There's a glare. Okay. I'm sure I can get better at this. I'm not going to show you the whole book, of course, but it does have pictures of various and sundry costumes. So that will be fun for me to go through. I have not even opened it yet. That was the first time I even opened it. So that was a lot of fun. I felt like it's interesting. I felt like it was a place I was supposed to be. So I was very happy. I also met some great people there. Tiffany, Stacy, Six, Angela, I'll probably remember everybody's names as I go. It was really cool meeting people who get me, for lack of a better expression. So from there, where did I go? Oh, that's when I went, after I left there, I went to Electric Fetus and got some records. And then that night, there was a dance party going on at the First Avenue nightclub. And at first, I wasn't going to go. I thought that was kind of cliche. But then on the other hand, I was in Minneapolis. It's not like there's any other time I'm going to go to the First Avenue nightclub. So I did. And I had a blast. Let me show you what a blast looks like. So that definitely was a highlight of the trip, mainly because I met so many people who they came from everywhere. Let me tell you, I met people from New York, from Chicago, from South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, um, some what was other place? New Jersey. So that was really cool meeting all of those people. And so we just had a really great time there at the First Avenue nightclub. There were videos showing on the screen of different Prince videos, whatever Prince songs they were playing, the video was showing as well, or some live recordings of concert videos. And they also played some influencers, so they didn't just play Prince music. There was also some Parliament Funkadelic, some James Brown, Larry Graham, Shaka Khan, some other people like that were playing. So we just had a great time. I'm getting old, so I only stayed until 2 in the morning. And so that was fantastic. So then the next day, what would that have been? Saturday? Can't remember. Oh, so whatever day it was, then I went to the museum. So from there, the next day I went to the Frederick Weisman Art Museum for the Prince from Minneapolis art exhibit. And that was interesting. It had in it some of the Le Petit Prince pictures of the little miniatures of Prince that have been made. There was some other art there. You could not take pictures. Actually, in one room they did allow pictures. So there was a picture, there was Prince's bike was in that room, and I did take a picture of that. And there was a video display of people giving messages of their experiences with Prince. There were pictures that were displayed of him in front of the music wall on Marquette, which I did eventually visit. And there were just various pictures of Prince throughout his career. From there, I went to the Mall of America. And at the Mall of America, I needed to get a jacket to wear to the dance party that was going to be going on at Paisley Park that night, because I had sweated out the previous one that I was wearing the night before. So, oh, did I mention the tattoos? Oh my God, there were so many people with so many really elaborate tattoos. If I was smarter, I would have taken pictures of tattoos. There were so many people. I am not a tattoo person. You can expect that I will never have a needle put to my body to display any kind of um, markings or art. Um, I just don't like them. I just don't care for tattoos. So, but for those people who had them, they were really some wonderful ones, and some people who had gotten them there in Minneapolis since they were there. They were visiting and got fresh tattoos while they were there. So that was interesting. So, actually, on my way to Mall of America, there I was going over an overpass, and there were some people there protesting. It was raining. I don't know if they were protesting justice for Prince. These are the people who believe that Prince was murdered, and so they had signs, and they were yelling and screaming, and so I thought that was interesting. So some of them, it's a justice for Prince, not justice for Cuz, which is a different thing. So I don't know if they were related to the Justice for Cuz uh, movement issue, but it said Justice for Prince, if I remember correctly. And it had signs, Prince was murdered. So in any case, I went to Mall of America, which is a huge mall, and it's like every mall you've ever been to, all in one. Every story that you can think of is at Mall of America. There are also rides there for kids, which is really good if you are bringing your family to Minneapolis. You don't have to worry about entertaining your kids. There's that at Mall of America. So I went to Bubblegum Shrimp and met some people there as well, some martial artists and the people there in Minneapolis were great. The people who were from Minneapolis and the people who were visiting. So from there, I thought I was going to a dance party at Paisley Park, although the dance party would have been really early at 6 o'clock. This is only because I didn't even read my ticket, really. It was a tour of Paisley Park, and after the tour was the dance party. So at first I was a little indignant because I just didn't realize that I was going on another tour. But once I started on the tour, I was actually very happy because then I started looking at things in more detail, spending more time paying attention to details. Like there were videos in various rooms in the on the tour, and I was able to actually stop and watch those videos and pay attention to the fact that they were showing a video of the costume that he was wearing, and the costume was right there, and then I was able to make the connections better, those types of things. So uh the second tour, actually, even though it was abbreviated in comparison to the first one that I went to, um that was actually a lot better for me because I was able to pay more attention. Now, the first one, my energy was a lot more high, enthusiastic. The second one, I think I kind of realized this is Paisley Park and Prince is not here. So I think um, I went through the grieving that I probably should have over this last couple of years in that second tour. There were some people who were actually at the first tour that I was at, now again at the second tour, and I hope I was not rude to them. I was just not as friendly as I was because in the first one, because I was just a little more melancholy in the second tour, and I think it was also because I also kind of realized that this is going to be the end of my Paisley Park experience. I mean, after this, there's no more. I mean, I can always come back, but that was going to be the end for me. So then after that was the dance party, which was a lot of fun. There was a lot of people there. There was food available, drinks. The merchandise tent was still open, so you could purchase things if you wanted to. I met some people. Um, I don't know where they were from, but they're going on the Bay Area cruise. They were encouraging me to go to on the Bay Area cruise that'll be going on, I think, in August. Um, and some other people who I had seen actually at First Avenue that I had met and talked to at First Avenue. So it was kind of overlap of the same people, and we were all kind of family. It was a good time. Also, Wally Stafford showed up, which was nice, and he spoke for a couple of minutes. And also, Omar Prince's brother, his younger brother, came and he spoke for a minute, thanking people for showing up and for coming and for celebrating Prince's life and legacy. Um, I left early. I'm getting old, so I left. I want to say about 11:30, and I went to bed. Shoot. Almost 50 years old. So I went to bed and slept late too. So the following day, the next thing I did was I went to Cheapo Records. From Cheapo Records, I went to the Music Wall on Marquette and 10th Street. I believe it's 10th Street. I'll put it in the notes. From there, I went to the Purple Rain House, and what do you know? Meet some of the same people again. Some people who I had met at First Avenue. So there were some people. Let me see. That was the North Carolina people and the Brooklyn people were at the Purple Rain House. That was something that I actually wasn't gonna do because um, the Purple Rain house doesn't seem to me as significant to Prince's life. My next stop was going to be the Anderson house where he actually lived, but I didn't have time. I needed to get to the airport to jump on my flight back to Las Vegas. In hindsight, I probably should have gone to the Anderson house instead of going to the Purple Rain house, but uh, Minneapolis ain't going nowhere. I can go back at another time. So, from the Purple Rain House, I went to the airport. And all in all, I have to say that I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to go. I'm glad that I met so many people. That was actually one of my goals, was to meet some of the Purple family, and I did. I met people uh, who understood me, that people who had similar types of stories, and um, Prince's music and his love for his fans, I think it was like a glue that held us together and that brought us together. And there were people of different ages. There were young people, and I was really surprised to see people under 21 or even in their 20s. I mean, what do they know about Prince? Um, Now they do. And they were young people who appreciated him and his music. There were older people. There were people of all ethnicities, all kinds of lifestyles, all together. And I honestly believe that was his vision. Um, And it was definitely fulfilled. And we celebrated him, we celebrated his life, we celebrated each other. And that was a really good I ain't no punk. That was a really good experience for me. It was something that I needed, and so I'm just grateful to God to have had the experience. Can't wait to go back. I think I'll wait 2 years before I go back to Paisley Park. Um, and see what happens with the exhibits. I imagine that it's going to get bigger and better. There's definitely space for that. Um, my father was a construction contractor, visionary, and uh, I think I inherited some of that from him. So I was looking around. I'm thinking this is a little wasted space. They really could put something here. And, I'm kind of rearranging the furniture. Um, so I imagine that there's going to be a lot of different things in Paisley Park probably in the next few years. So I look forward to what they may be doing, and just grateful for the time that I had there at Paisley Park. And that is MPLS through the eyes of Mequilla Sunrise.